Hey everyone, this video is going to be a complete playthrough of the game Destiny Hunter using an original Commodore PET model 4016. I do have the game here on cassette, but it takes about 8 minutes to load off of the cassette, so I won't make everyone wait through that. I am just going to load the game off of the floppy disk emulator that I have plugged in on the back. Alright, let's get started. So the first part of the game here is a character creation process, and like the game says, you do have to press any key to get through that process. And what's happening here is some spiritual beings are deciding whether to give your character a blessing or not, and there's 8 of them, and I got 1 blessing in this case. And in the website and descriptions, I'll talk more about the background or the technical background of what's going on here. But one thing I will point out is if you did not get any blessings, the little X appears here, and you can re-roll your character, try again the entire sequence. So if there's some aspect that you didn't like, or you just want to try it a few times, just press X to go through it again. Alright, in this part you're not really choosing your character, but you're choosing what's called the persona. It's sort of the spiritual mentor to your character. And it's also basically deciding kind of how difficult the game's going to be. The second one here has the least number of max arrows, for instance. Rudra, I think, has the most number of arrows, so he's sort of the easy mode. Number 1 is sort of the normal way the game is supposed to be played, the normal level of difficulty. You can play with the keyboard. These are the basic controls and what the terrain types look like. I'm going to be playing using the Super Nintendo style gamepad that also plugs into the back of the PET. The website and description will have kind of more information on how to set that up. The gamepad only works during the game maps. During the character creation, you still do have to use the keyboard. Alright, press return. So the game has started, and what is going on here? It's like not much is going on. What do I do? And I wanted a lot of people to kind of just discover the game on their own. But it does start like with Zelda. When the game started, you really had no weapons. You had to take some action in order to find your first weapon. You had to go into that door that was right near the character and get that first sword. So here you have this sort of boomerang looking thing laying out on the island here. You're at the beach of the island, and that boomerang is really a bow. So you touch that thing, and there you've collected your first item. You've collected a bow, but you don't have any arrows to shoot yet. So down here is blessings, and I'll talk more about those a little bit later. Then your stamina. As you run around or move, your stamina decreases, and eventually you have to rest before you can move again, and you'll start moving super slow. Wait for your stamina to come back up, and you can run pretty fast for a while. Then you have to start resting again. Then the arrow, that's the clue that the arrow symbol is an arrow. And you have a quiver that you can hold a maximum of 30 arrows, and right now you have 0 arrows. Then you have your health. It's a similar fashion. This is your current health and your total health. Then you have this persistency. I didn't really like the idea of running around with a bunch of red vials or potions, but I'd like the idea of being persistent, like you're going to win or achieve your objective. You're going to get through this, and so you're going to be persistent. And so you have a reserve of persistency, and as you use a persistency, it restores 1-to-1 a health heart that you may have lost. All right, so I touch this arrow, and I get a full pack of 30 arrows. Those 2 actions of picking up the bow and the arrows triggers the start of the story where these rats come out. And the rules of this game is you do have to defeat all the monsters that show up before you can go to the next part of the map. And so this is a practice level. The rats move a little bit slow, and so you just fire your arrow at them. Now when you hit something, the number up here is their health, how much health the last creature that you hit. So I'll switch to this other one. All right, he bumped up to 3, so that's how much health he has. He has 1 left. All right, so he's defeated. and some more arrows show up. So I can touch those arrows and pick up more arrows, and the X shows where that creature was defeated, and defeat this last one. And you can miss sometimes. The creatures will also, as they get near you, they can attack and they can miss as well. So here I'm going to just pick up more arrows now. And that's why when you defeat the monsters, it doesn't automatically go to the next level. It gives you a chance to kind of move around, explore the level, and pick up any arrows that you may have available on the ground. So on the gamepad, I hit start. It's the same as pushing F. And now this Komodo dragon has appeared. And his legs kind of flop around, which is the first example of kind of animation of the creatures. So I like to hit him at a diagonal rather than straight on. Or attack him up 3. So I missed there on his tail. Alright, so I got him. I have 14 arrows left. I picked up those, and now I'm back up to 24 arrows. My persistency is still 8, and I did get hit a couple times. My health is down to 6 instead of 8, so I can hit 0 on the keyboard and use some persistency to charge back up. Or you hit B on the gamepad, the B button. Alright, hit start and go to the next level. So this level is the river level, and it forces you to go through the water and kind of learn that experience of you do slow down or use more stamina going through the water. But you do have to defeat all these crocodiles, and it also shows as you defeat things, more creatures will pop out from the edges of the screen. Alright, got him, and the bird should be showing up next. There he comes. The bird is an example of a creature. You're going to encounter more of them later on. But you get a preview of it here on this level. He comes out from the sides, whereas the other alligators come up from the top and bottom in the water. So defeated all the creatures. I could go to the next level, but there's a couple interesting things, the next map. So one, I want to collect all the arrows that I have available, but there's this gem looking thing right in the middle. And this gem, it's a magic gem. It's sort of like eyeglasses that let you read this book that appears once you pick up the gem and have defeated all the monsters. This book pops up in the corner, so you do have to go clear across the water, and when you touch that book, you get teleported into this dream sequence. The map is like Yin Yang Island. Oh, got them all. So again, as you kill some, more will pop out. There are 2 different styles of these STRZYGA, bird-like creatures. And I'll pick up the arrows here in the water. It's more of a flashback. Here it's saying, you know, long ago, your persona had to fight this sort of onslaught of STRZYGA birds in the ancient past. And that's sort of how that hunter became famous or legendary. But as a flashback, if you do get defeated on this level, it doesn't really count toward your main character. Just when this map ends, the next one starts with however much health you had at the last map. But the main point is, so many of these birds come out that you get a large, or potentially get a large collection of arrows. Obviously you can do worse than what you started, and you could end up with less arrows than you started with. In this case, I think I did pretty good. I'm ending up with 17 arrows. And like I said, don't waste a persistency on this map, because at the end of it, you're just going to get reverted to whatever you had before this map. So hit start. So now I'm past the river, and I'm entering this cave, and you come across this scorpion. You have a choice here, and I'll give it away. If you touch the top or bottom edges, the brother of the scorpion comes out as well. So you'll end up fighting 2 scorpions at the same time. Or you can go ahead and beat this one and then do that and beat the other one by itself. But also there's a magic item here. There's an orb up in this corner, and the only way to get to it is you go through this magic entrance that's around here. And that also, you touch the edge here, and that'll also queue up the brother scorpion to come out. So you can kind of choose when you want to do that. There are some benefits to maybe fighting both at the same time. You get a larger you're less likely to miss and hit something at least. But then you do have to kind of move around quite a bit because you have to face both at the same time. And both of these do move pretty quickly. I'm going to go ahead and go up here to the edge. And I got them both coming out. So I'm out of arrows. Whenever you run out of arrows, a new set will appear, but it'll be random. You might only get like 2 arrows, or you get like 12 arrows. Out of arrows. Alright, so I've defeated both scorpions. I've picked up a set of arrows. And that secret entrance, it's around here. And you can go through the wall and you can pick up the orb. When you press O to activate the orb, you have a lot more stamina, or at least your stamina doesn't reduce as fast even when you're going through water. It can still go down eventually, but it's a lot slower to lose the stamina as you're running around. So the orb sort of just gives you a lot of extra power there. The blessings will slow the creatures down in half, so at any time, but it only works for the current level. So if you want to use it earlier in that map, and each time you use one, it slows them down in half. Alright, so I'm done with this level. There's no real trick to this level. Just they're fast and you have to aim for them. Just have lots of arrows and hope one lands. The only strategy I could say is when you do get near them, they can kind of smell your scent and the creatures will come after you. So you just move away and eventually they can't smell your scent anymore and will just go back kind of on the route that's been assigned to them. So finish with this map. I'm going to hit persistency to charge back up again. So this map is fun. One of these drakes is slow because he has a broken tail. I died already.